Oh, hello. It's going live on YouTube. This is the first time I've been live on YouTube. I will go live on Facebook more regularly, and then I think I don't have a way to archive that going live, but usually I'll get more views. But anyway, I'm glad you're here, Adam Hudson. And I've been thinking about a lot of comparison over the past 24 hours. Like, multiple things have happened that have been conflictual. Like, reality is coming. I'm coming into conflict with reality. And I was just listening to this talk about Alan Watts and just about this the ego's need to obsessively one up others, the self, and just always trying to this process of trying to sort of peel back the layers or open the curtains on the ego's game, so that I can get, I guess the process being, in pursuit of a more authentic expression, sort of like without the filters of this deep need to protect myself from the world, or filter some sort of strategy through which I can have some sense of control. And I've been thinking about this because I was sitting with a good friend the other day, and he's doing very well, and and I just found myself entering into this comparison mode and feeling some self-pity around that. And then today, waking up and just a many circumstances like going sideways on me, coming to, just seeing someone like tailgate another car and find myself angry, and then wanting to sort of get revenge, like this weird, like sideways process. And then going to Panera Bread and then telling like, oh, sorry, breakfast is now concluded. It's like 3 minutes after 11. And you're like, yeah, you got the egg and the cheese and the bagel back there, put it all together and give me breakfast. It's like, and just surrendering that over and over in multiple things, coaching my soccer game, and having my desperate for my team to succeed and win, and then them losing. And even in an organization I'm a part of, I was in a committee meeting, and there was a vote for some leadership positions, and just not being elected, or being nominated but not elected. Number of different things today, just sort of highlighting that reality is consistently defying my expectations. And what sort of work do I need to do in order to align myself better, both consciously and somatically, socially, with reality? Because every single time, one of my good friends in San Francisco was like, every single time you argue with reality, you're only losing 100% of the time. And that's a good way to descend into a vortex of self-pity and fear and really sort of dysfunction, sort of paralyzing if you're never having success. And then I was just listening to a talk by Jordan Peterson on just like, who do we compare us? Like, it's not good to never compare yourself to anyone, to never have an ideal. But if you have an ideal, you're automatically setting up a judge. An ideal is something you are striving toward to live up to. And if you're doing that, you're setting a bar and you're setting a judge. And that which I can define who I am in relationship to that ideal or that judge. But it's, my God, it's hard, because if you're always setting yourself up being judged, it's like a terrible way to live. But my God, I don't want to have like no judges or no ideal. And so what does that look like? And there was a story about this guy who was like wrought with sort of depression, that he didn't ever live up to his friend who they were roommates in college. Turns out his friend was Elon Musk. And like, the dude's lived a really successful life, but in comparison to Elon Musk, what a failure you've become, And Elon Musk, if you don't know, created Tesla, anyway, he is the modern day Iron Man. Anyway, and he was like, well, who do you compare yourself to? And you compare yourself to the person, to who you were yesterday. It's very cliche, of course, but like that person you were yesterday. I feel like this is a trial run I was just listening to Alan Watts, and I was getting super inspired about the ego process, consistently looking to one up itself and trying to expose that process. And then I got inspired to do a live video. Anyway, take care out there. Don't get crazy, obsessively comparing yourself and descend into depression. I don't know. Is that the lesson? But I want to grow, right? It's my responsibility to grow and to overcome the boundaries that I do. And I think where we end up is like, before I jump off, it's like developing a skill set of goal setting. Well, where goal setting doesn't become some sort of passive activity or an activity that just is like doesn't work, but it's like goal setting is a skill, like looking at it as a skill and setting goals for yourself that are just challenging enough for you to move toward the ideal, but not so overwhelming that you're like a pit of defeated despair because you're consistently not living up to your goals. It's a practice. Still working on it. Anyway, take care. Love you.